Al Capone, the name alone sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? This man was a symbol of power, violence, and fear. But beyond the headlines, the luxury, and the bloodshed, there are some things about Al Capone that most people don't know, things that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the infamous gangster. Join me as we uncover the truth about Al Capone, not just as the leader of Chicago's most powerful crime syndicate, but as a man trapped in his own empire of crime. This is a story of greed, betrayal, and a fall from power that no one saw coming. Born in 1899 in Brooklyn, New York, Alphonse Gabriel Capone came from humble beginnings. But by the time he was in his 20s, he had already made a name for himself in the criminal world. He didn't just follow in the footsteps of other mobsters, he became the boss. How did this unassuming immigrant become the most feared man in America? Capone's rise to power came during one of the most turbulent times in American history, the Prohibition era. When alcohol was banned in the United States, it created the perfect opportunity for a man like Capone. His illegal bootlegging operation made him a fortune, but that was just the beginning. Behind the polished suits and the fancy cars, Al Capone was a brutal, cold-hearted leader. His gang wasn't just about making money, it was about controlling every part of the city. The infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where 7 of his rivals were gunned down, is just one example of his sheer ruthlessness. But what really made Capone dangerous wasn't just his violence, it was his ability to avoid the law. For years, Capone seemed untouchable. Even as law enforcement closed in on him, he remained elusive, until something changed. So, how did the man who ruled Chicago's underworld for over a decade fall from grace? The answer lies in something most people don't realize. Al Capone wasn't taken down by bullets or rival gangsters. He was taken down by taxes. In 1931, the US government finally caught up with Capone, not for his many murders or criminal activities, but for failing to pay his taxes. A man who had eluded justice for years was finally convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. Capone's time in prison wasn't the end of his story, though. After being sent to the infamous Alcatraz prison, Capone's health began to decline. The man who had once been feared by millions was now a shadow of his former self, suffering from advanced syphilis and mental deterioration. Capone spent his final days in his mansion in Florida, a broken man, haunted by his past. He died in 1947, forgotten by many, but still remembered by history as one of the most notorious criminals to ever live. So, what's the truth about Al Capone? Was he a genius criminal mastermind? A victim of his own power? Or simply a man who got too greedy and lost everything? His story is a haunting reminder of the cost of ambition, and the price of living a life on the wrong side of the law. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Capone was misunderstood, or was he just a ruthless killer who got what was coming to him? And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's most infamous figures.